What if the joke everyone laughed at in 2010 turned into one of the most talked about revolutions of our time? A digital currency, once seen as a geeky experiment, now valued at tens of thousands of dollars per coin. But Bitcoin isn't just about money, it's about power, control, and the way we perceive value itself. By the time you finish this story, you might realize that Bitcoin is either the biggest opportunity or the riskiest gamble humanity has ever taken. In 2008, while the world was still reeling from a massive financial crisis, an anonymous figure, or perhaps a group, called Satoshi Nakamoto, proposed an idea that felt like science fiction. A currency that wouldn't need banks, governments, or intermediaries. They called it Bitcoin. It was built on blockchain technology, a kind of digital ledger that anyone could access but no one could manipulate. It promised transparency, security, and a decentralized future, a stark contrast to the failing financial institutions of the time. Bitcoin officially launched in January 2009, when its first block, called the Genesis block, was mined. Embedded within it was a cryptic message, the Times March, 1st 2009. Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. This wasn't just a timestamp. It was a clear critique of the financial system. A bold statement for a currency that, at the time, was worth absolutely nothing. For a long time, Bitcoin remained a niche project discussed in online forums. It wasn't until May 22, 2010, that Bitcoin gained its first real-world value. A programmer named Laszlo Hanyecz offered 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. Someone took the deal. Back then, it was just 2 pizzas. Today, those Bitcoins would be worth over $300 million. Imagine spending millions on pizza. It's almost laughable. But this story shows how unpredictable Bitcoin's journey has been. By 2013, Bitcoin was no longer just a tech experiment. Its price surged to $1,000, and the world began to take notice. Headlines ranged from awe to ridicule. Some called it digital gold, others called it a scam. The skeptics seemed validated when Bitcoin crashed shortly after, losing over 80% of its value. But Bitcoin wasn't done. It was just getting started. In 2017, Bitcoin reached a staggering $20,000 per coin. People who had bought it for a few dollars were suddenly millionaires. The excitement was electric, but it came with a sense of fear. Was this too good to be true? It turned out that, for many, it was. By 2018, Bitcoin crashed again, plummeting to around $3,000. Critics declared it dead. Supporters, however, saw it as a temporary setback in a much larger journey. But Bitcoin's story isn't just about numbers. It's wrapped in mystery and intrigue. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Despite countless theories, no one knows. Some think it's a single genius, others believe it's a team of cryptographers. What we do know is that Satoshi disappeared in 2011, leaving behind a technology that has since grown into a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Bitcoin hasn't escaped controversy. In its early years, it was the go-to currency for illegal transactions on platforms like the Silk Road. This association with crime earned it the nickname, the currency of criminals. Governments around the world started cracking down, with some banning Bitcoin altogether. Yet, ironically, this only added to its appeal. Bitcoin became a symbol of resistance against centralized control. Fast forward to today, and Bitcoin sits at a crossroads. Its price hovers around $30,000, far from its 2021 peak of nearly $69,000, but still light years ahead of its humble beginnings. This might seem stable, but for Bitcoin, stability is always temporary. Experts are split on what happens next. Optimists believe Bitcoin could hit astronomical heights, $100,000, $500,000, even $1 million per coin. They argue that Bitcoin's fixed supply, only 21 million coins, will ever exist, makes it incredibly scarce. As demand grows, especially from big investors and even governments, its value could skyrocket. On the other hand, skeptics warn of a potential disaster. What happens if governments crack down harder? China has already banned Bitcoin mining and trading, and other countries might follow. What if a newer, better cryptocurrency takes its place? Or what if Bitcoin's infamous volatility causes another massive crash, wiping out trillions of dollars in value? And let's not ignore the environmental debate. Mining Bitcoin requires enormous amounts of energy, more than some small countries use in a year. Critics argue this makes it unsustainable, especially as the world focuses on fighting climate change. Some companies, like Tesla, have pulled back on Bitcoin because of this. If Bitcoin doesn't find a greener path, it could face even more backlash. But there's also an undeniable sense of curiosity and excitement surrounding Bitcoin. Some see it as digital gold, a store of value that will only grow over time. Others believe it could eventually replace traditional currencies, creating a world where money is truly global and borderless. Bitcoin today is more than just an investment. It's a conversation, a clash between the old and new, the centralized and decentralized, the traditional and the revolutionary. Whether it becomes the foundation of a new financial era or fades into history as a failed experiment is anyone's guess. But one thing is certain: Bitcoin has already changed the world, and its story is far from over. So, the question is, will you watch from the sidelines, or will you take part in shaping its future?